and Crocker Show, Mr. Alec Finch, and the special guest of the hour, Mr. American himself, Jericho Green, in the building. Let's
Ooh.
go. Let's go.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. So we're going to first address what happened yesterday. We're going to first address what
Mm.
happened yesterday. Jaguars, Chiefs, and then, of course, the Giants and the Vikings. I want to first start off by saying shout out to Trevor Lawrence for putting up a gallant effort. A gallant effort. I think he's definitely going to be a force to reckon with next year once they really figure out what they're going to do and build on that chemistry next year. It wasn't a bad game. I really feel like I really feel like Mahomes. The kid's amazing. The kid's amazing. You can't deny his talent, and I really hope that if the Bills are able to get to the championship, that we can go in and put those Chiefs in the grave like we need to this year. Let's get into it.
Well, I'm just my quick piece real fast about that game yesterday. Again, Patrick Mahomes, very good guy. I mean, toughness was amazing. But I want to give some credit to Chad Henne. Coming off the bench on the 1 yard line and
Yeah.
driving him down the field for a touchdown. Like, what is he, 35 years old? 38? Something like, come on.
37. He's 30, 37. Yeah, 37.
I mean, that was amazing there, which goes to show, again, coming off the bench, it's a great system. They put him in a great system. And again, they start off passing the ball off the gate. I thought he was going to run the ball. I thought the first 3 or 4 was going to run the ball. You know what? We're throwing the rock. And I respect that. I respect that by the coaching as well. So I give hats off to KC for that.
So let me ask you this, and we can get everybody's opinion on this. Do you think that Mahomes should have stayed playing, hobbling around on the field, ankle busted up? Do you think he should have stayed on the field?
It just depends. It seemed like he was all right, but I think they probably gave him an injection or something just to make all that pain go away. But it was a good call on Reed to give him the ultimatum to basically say, all right, well, if you don't get checked out, then you won't come back in. Because I mean, at a certain point, I do believe Chad could have won them the game because of the arsenal in the offense. So I don't think that if Patrick Mahomes would have left, I don't think that really would have changed the way the game was going to begin with, because the Chiefs' defense was stopping the Jags anyways. But I think it's really just play by ear. If Patrick fully believes that he was safe, that he felt good, then I think that it's all right, because I mean there is high stakes. It's not like a wild card round. So this is to go to the AFC Championship. So they had to close it. They had to make sure that they were comfortable enough to win. And I think if they got comfortable enough to win, then he could have sat. But I think just that security.
No, I agree. I think Chad coming out there showing that he still got it was very important. Not only for his value, but he went out there and proved that, hey, okay, Pat's down, I can do the job. I'm not just sitting over here collecting a check. I can actually get out there and ball as well. I think at the end of the day, we seen a Pat Mahomes, the fighter, right, the warrior, and people were harping on me because they're like, Jay, just let him play, and I'm like, well, get the man checked out, right, and then have him come back out there. Like, it just makes sense. I want Pat Mahomes to play at 100%. I don't want any excuses.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want any. I want him at 100%. So whether he wins or loses, no one can say, "Oh, Pat lost because he hurt his ankle or he got a fracture in his ankle." So let's make sure he's good, bring him back on the field, and then let him ball.
I want to address something that Franklin said. You mentioned Chad Henne. I was cleaning my garage while I was listening to you, Jay, and I heard Chad Henne, and I swear my first thought was Chad Henne Jr. Like, did Chad Henne have a son that somehow we didn't hear about, and now he's backing up Pat Mahomes? No BS. I was like, what? And then I heard the commentator said, "Oh yeah, Chad Henne, 37 years old, 15 years." I was like, "That Chad Henne."
Yeah.
I mean, and as far as we know, maybe they did want Mahomes out. Maybe Andy Reid. Andy Reid kind of seems like that coach. Like his stars, they listen to him, but come on, coach. Maybe they were trying to take him out. Maybe he felt he had something to prove, but I think they should have pulled him because who knows? He said his X-rays came back clear. Who knows? But who knows what kind of damage was done? And it's only a week to rest. This ain't NFC to the Super Bowl. Next week he's going to have to be out there, and I don't know if another team is going to have Patrick Mahomes at such a weak point ever again. He's pretty healthy,
Yeah.
and but the Jags should have won. The Jags didn't want to win. I don't know if they're allergic to wins. They didn't want it. The fumble, the pick. You got Mahomes hopping around. And fellas, I know we all know this answer. Everybody here watching knows the answer to this question. Who was he throwing it to? Who did he throw it to?
It was so
every other player.
Mhm.
I know Travis Kelce is an athlete, blah, 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 blah. Put two dudes on him. Whatever you have to do, get a steel chair out there and hit him across the back like it's WWE. But you need to stop Travis Kelce from catching the ball. The Jags didn't want it. I think if a better team played Kansas City yesterday, Kansas City would be going home, and another quarterback would have been getting the victory interview on the sideline.
There's a saying that my uncle used to tell me back in the day. Real quick saying, gentlemen, and you said it right there, Jericho. Winners will find a way to win, and a loser will always find a way to lose. And KC just found a way to win. They played the game to win, and they didn't play the game not to lose. And there's a big difference between that two statements. Playing the game to win and playing the game not to lose is huge. And they played the game to win. And the Jaguars are playing the game not to lose, and that's why they lost.
Yeah, that 60-yard pass that homeboy dropped. Come on. And that changes the complexion of the whole game. Kansas City should have lost, but they didn't.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like when it boils down to it, because I said it yesterday. I was like, it was Jaguars. The Jaguars game is win or lose. Trevor Lawrence, I feel like he did everything that he could do. The drop pass by Kirk, I think that was the nail in the coffin. Because if he would have caught that, that would have been touchdown, and that would have kind of put them in position to win the game. But they had so many opportunities, so many possessions. But I'll say this. I'm glad they were able to get to that point and show the world that the Jags are still relevant. Because nobody really paid attention to the Jags until Trevor Lawrence went there.
Very true.
So I guess we can all agree on that. And let's get into these Giants and these Vikings. Giants and these Vikings.
Ooh.
This one's tough. I'll let you start it off, Alex.
Okay, so going into this game, I had Giants. I was like, imagine. It was. I was so excited because it usually takes a few plays for each team, just in the playoffs in general, just to find their footing. But Eagles, they didn't come to play around. All right. Jalen Hurts, I don't know if you saw this, but there's like a video of like him just like talking to the team, and he was like, "All right, I want it. I'm starving for this," and you can just tell the passion that the Eagles team had, and they, man, poor Danny Dimes, man, they absolutely just flipped the Giants over and gave them the business last night. They had their way with him, and it was like not what I expected. I thought it was going to be a close game. I thought it was going to be an exciting, riveting game, but I think the Eagles just showed the world that they are true contenders and that they did not come to mess around or even entertain the idea that the Giants had any chance to win this game. I mean, I could just tell at a certain point that like the Giants were just doomed because at a certain point in the divisional round, you can't do a 27-0 comeback win like the Jags did. Whenever we get to the divisional round,
very rare in the playoffs to see a comeback like that. I think that was. I'm going to be honest. I really feel like that was the only kind of comeback we're going to see in this next series. I don't think we're going to see a big comeback like that.
Oh, I mean, oh yeah, for sure. Because as we get to the Elite Eight, it's literally going to come down to like the last possession. It might even come down to an overtime because these teams are so strong. They're so good offensively, defensively, special teams. Whenever everything's going, full cylinders, it's you don't expect a blowout or you don't expect like just a shutout. So I was surprised because I mean the Giants didn't play bad at all. I mean they did everything they could have. There was a few misplays. There was a few trips, but I mean, I'm proud of them for how far they've come, and I don't think really anyone gave them a chance at the beginning of the season. So, just from where they started and where they are now, I mean, I think they have some huge potential in this league, and I think that's probably where I'll end it off there.
So, I think that Danny Dimes, he's kind of been hit or miss, right? He's been so hit or miss. And it was funny because as I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, all right, he'll get it together. He'll get it together. And I feel like I was watching that first year Danny. I was watching that first year Danny all over again. And it was so sad because he's done so much. And I think Dable had found a way. He had found his lane. And I'm like, okay, the Giants may actually just do something. Well, the Vikings are not the Eagles. The Vikings are not the Eagles. Jalen Hurts had time to rest. He came back at 100%. And I really feel like the Giants may have miscalculated what they were dealing with on the Eagles' offense. With that said, Jalen Hurts balls out. Sanders balls out. Gainwell. You've got a lot of weapons over there. You're going to have a lot of problems in that NFC Championship, no matter who wins, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Well,
all right.
Okay, my bad. Keep going.
No. Go ahead.
No, just real quick, man. We had our game the other. We had our conversation the other day. I wanted the Giants to win. I wanted to make a reel with saying "Go DJ, that's my DJ." Daniel, I wanted to make a song about it. And again, it just came out. But the one thing we didn't talk about with this game was the defense. Gotta think the reason why it was so easy for them, the defense was doing their thing. Gotta remember, they had 70 sacks in the season.
Yeah.
They had four players with double-digit sacks. That's unheard of, guys. And that's a big difference in this game. That defense in this game. Now, granted, the Eagles' offense is amazing. But again, that defense, not San Fran defense, but just as good.
So that brings us to, getting into these two games today. Obviously, the first game that's going to be 3:00, Bengals versus Bills. There's so much to break down in this game. We've got 33% on the matchup predictor for the Bengals, 67% for the Bills. Josh Allen, 4,283 yards, 35 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Joe Burrow, 4,475 yards, 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Mixon on the rushing side with 814 yards, 7 touchdowns. Singletary, 819 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns. Receiving side, Jamar Chase, 1,046 yards, 9 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs, 1,429 yards, 11 touchdowns.
Damn.
As far as the spread, Bills are favored by 6, minus 267 on the money line. Over and under is 49. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Bengals are only averaging 26.1 points per game. Bills are averaging 28.4 points. Allowed is where it gets wild as well, because Bengals are only allowing 17 versus 31. Keep in mind, these are playoff numbers. All right, yeah. Playoff numbers. Now, total yards, 378 for the Bengals versus 407 for the Bills. Yards allowed, 381 for the Bengals versus 262 for the Bills. This is going to get interesting. I feel like it's not as evenly matched as what people are saying.
I think it's going to come down to both defenses in that game because the Bengals are hurting. The offensive line is hurting. They're missing dudes. They got some of the scrubs in there. So Buffalo's defense, even without what's his name?
Boyer?
No, Von Miller. Even without him, they're going to have to do their thing because if they don't, you know what Burrow and Chase can do. And also, the Bengals defense needs to be on point because the Bills can be a little sporadic. Josh Allen, he'll give you some picks, and this is the playoffs. This is it. Everybody's throwing in everything and the kitchen sink. So both defenses really need to be on point today. But it is looking like it's going to be for the Bills because of the Bengals offensive line issues, man, because I don't care who you are. I don't care Joe Burrow, Heisman, college championship, all that. If your offensive line can't keep you safe, man, he's going to pull a Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl against the Bucks. Just going to be running for his life and get tackled. And then once, Josh Allen and that that offense start clicking, it can get out of hand real quick like it did yesterday for the Giants. And speaking of the Giants, I still don't believe in the Eagles. I'm going to say it. I do not believe in them. I know they got that record, but what happened when Hurts was out? That was 2 losses in a row. And your backup got to at least get you one. Gardner Minshew, you got experience, and you have all those weapons. That's like you walk out in front of your mansion, you got a 6-car garage, you open it, it's full of Ferraris, Lambos, Bugattis, and then you wreck one of them at the mailbox. What are you doing, man? You got all this? You don't got to do much. Just distribute. Let your stars do their thing, and they didn't. So I think Philly does have an Achilles heel, and if they face a real defense, this one, there's going to be a problem. Jalen Hurts, you're good. You're great. You guys had a great game yesterday, running and throwing and all that good stuff. But you were playing Boo Boo the Fool when it came to defense. That Giants defense ain't nothing compared to some of the others. So when they face the Niners, when they face the Niners, it's not going to end well. It really isn't. They haven't ran up against anything like that all year. But I'm still not a believer in the Eagles.
Jericho coming through with the strong facts.
Hey man, it's playoffs for us too. It's all or nothing. This is it
for sure.
I was going to say this Burrow. I was going to go through break down Burrow, and I'll let you go, Alec.
No, you're good.
41 sacks. He is number 6 in the league for sacks. Holds the ball for way too long. He's got a 58.7% QBR, 68.3% completion rate, 4,475 yards, 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Here's a funny stat. I want to see if someone in the chat can answer this question. Who's currently tied number 1 for the most sacks in this season? There's two quarterbacks that are tied number 1 for the most sacks at 55 this season. Who is it? Or who are they, rather?
That's a lot.
That's a lot of sacks.
That's a lot.
It's more sacks than Brazzers. The Brazzers Network.
Yeah. Fire their O-line right now.
Dang. That's what I mean, man. If their O-line isn't on point, it's going to be over quick, man. It really is.
It's Allen and Burrow. Come on. No. I'll just give you the answers because you guys are going to be ridiculous with this one. It's Russell Wilson and Justin Fields.
Oh yeah, Fields took a lot. Yeah.
Poor Justin Fields,
Wilson
man.
and Justin Fields tied number 1. Broncos, let's cry. Broncos country, let's cry. We got 55 sacks. Absolutely.
Hey, Russell Wilson deserved those sacks, man, just because of his face. You deserve to get sacked like that because of your face, Russell Wilson.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So we'll let you go, Alec. You can go now, bro.
Oh man, you're getting me on Russell Wilson now. I gotta get this bad taste in my mouth.
It's tough. It's tough. It's bad for Russell right now. Real bad.
Bills versus Bengals. I think we're going to see a version of the Bengals that we saw last year in the playoffs. Very bad offensive line. I think it's going to be like this. Bills are going to be calculated today. Bengals are going to be improv because they're going to be pressured so much that they're not going to be able to run and do the plays that they want. He's always just going to have to, extend the plays and find someone open or check it down because I believe that we will take advantage of that O-line problem if our pass rush and if everything goes according to plan. We just have to do our jobs. I also believe that I don't think we're going to see any change in Josh Allen's game. I mean, earlier this week he said that he wanted to play smart, not conservative. He doesn't want to play scared. He doesn't. He has a certain way of playing football, and that's just who he is. So, and it also has to do with Ken Dorsey. I mean, if it's third and short, don't tell him to throw it 40 yards. All right, just check it down or run it. Do a QB sneak. Do whatever to get the yards. The way that the Bills win is either turnover for points or takeaway for points or keeping Joe Burrow off the field. Because you saw last year, he barely had any O-line, but he made it to the Super Bowl because that's just how good the Bengals team is. They're dangerous. They shouldn't be taken lightly. And I mean, as you saw in Week 17, they started out fast. They started out aggressive. They didn't defer. They said, "Give us the ball. We're ready to get some points." They're so confident. They don't think like Joe Burrow said earlier this week. He's not an underdog. He doesn't believe he's an underdog in any match. They believe they can come into any stadium, no matter what the risk, what the stakes are, and win. And I mean, that's the mindset of a championship team. And I think the Bills, they have stuff to prove. They have players that are probably not going to be on the Bills next year. Important players like Jordan Poyer, but like they just can't afford these star players. And I think there's no better time than now to, win a Super Bowl, win these matches, and prove that we deserve to be here. So it's going to come down to the last minute, last quarter. I think it's going to be a close game no matter what. I think it's just going to be Burrow getting a touchdown, Allen getting a touchdown, Burrow getting a touchdown, Allen getting a touchdown. I don't think the game's going to get away from anybody. And it's just going to come down to either an interception at the end and then a field goal to end it off, or OT. And we'll finally get a glimpse of what this postseason OT looks like. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be game of the year. I can't wait because it's going to be must-see TV. And I'm nervous. I think Bengals fans and Bills fans should be nervous because, Burrow going against division opponents, it's always tough, because they draft people to win the division. So I don't think it's going to be like, Bengals struggled against the Ravens and probably would have lost that game if they didn't get that 99.
I think I'll go back to what I said. I think if Lamar was in, they would have won that game. If Lamar was in, they would have won.
For sure.
But yeah, let me hop in regards to the Bills, and then we'll end off the Bills and Bengals with Franklin. So I feel like, and I've been saying this throughout the season. Obviously, Bills fan heavy, you guys know that. My biggest gripe with Josh Allen has always him being under pressure, right? He's under pressure to perform. He's under pressure to be great. He's under pressure to get a championship, win a Super Bowl. I need Josh Allen to just go out there and play football. Love the game. Stop being under pressure. Stop thinking you got to throw the ball 50 yards every play. Realize you can run for 5 yards, get that first down. You can throw it short to Cole Beasley and not have so much fire on the damn pass. Just give him a little soft throw. You don't gotta beam that thing in his chest every time. Just throw it short, get the first downs, move the ball. See those openings, catch the seams, run when you need to. Get back to that original Josh Allen at the beginning of the season that was coming off the field because we were up by 30.
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
People seem to forget about that. They forget about those games because obviously it's what have you done for me lately, and I get it. But Josh Allen has to get back to playing Bills football, his game, and he's gonna have to tell Ken Dorsey, "Hey, I got this. I'm gonna go out here and win this game." And I'll let you end it off on the Bills and Bengals, Franklin.
Well, real quick, you know how I feel, man. Josh Allen's a great quarterback, great arm, and you just said he's beaming the ball to Beasley. It reminds me of my boy back in the day, Brett Favre. Same thing. Great arm, and will just drill it at somebody versus just give me a nice little lob, man. Let me catch this thing, man. Let me get two hands on the ball. And Josh Allen, sometimes I think he overthinks the plays. He's looking for that big, impactful play. He's looking for that highlight. He's going to be on ESPN every night. You can't do that, Josh. Just manage the game. Manage the game. And we need, when I say we, the Buffalo Bills, we need to pick up a running game. If we don't establish a running game between now and next week, but if we make it to the Super Bowl, we're in trouble. I said if we're going to make it to the Super Bowl, because this is the perfect year for the NFL to rig the thing so the Bills go to Super Bowl. It's going to happen. Guys, the Bills going to Super Bowl. NFL is rigging the league. They're going to the Super Bowl. Now, I want to say a quick quote before I get off real fast about the Bills. This is a quote from Peter Burns on ESPN. He said, if you don't have a fight in the game, if you have a dog in the fight, root for the Bengals. And I'm like, why would he say that? It makes a lot of sense. He said if he doesn't want the game to be a neutral game in Atlanta. He doesn't want the KC and Bills game to be neutral, because he said if that happens, most likely it's going to happen again. They're going to figure out a way every year or every other year to try to make that happen and take away that home field advantage. And that does make a lot of sense, because that can happen. We all know the league. It is if something works, they're going to keep doing it over and over again, just like other teams. It's a copycat league. When that Wildcat offense was running, everybody did it until the first person figured out how to stop it. Everybody stopped it. Yep. So again, I feel like I want the Bills are going to win today, but it's going to have to be in Atlanta, guys. It's going to have to be a neutral game, because Cincinnati's not winning this one today. They're not. It's a done deal. Take it forward.
All right. So next up, we're going to get into these Cowboys and these 49ers. We got a super chat.
Yeah.
I'm going to announce the super chat, and I'm going to let Jericho get started. $5 super chat from Jonas came through. Says, my Dallas Cowboys will bury those gold diggers. Jericho going to squeeze his pillow tonight. Take that clown beanie off. Tuck him to bed. I'm going to let Jericho answer this for himself.
Hey, you know what? You know what? I am going to take this beanie off, and I'm going to put it over your mom's face because she makes me sick.
Got it. Oh, there it is.
That's what I'm going to do. You ready to have some little some bang bang Niner gang half brothers or step brothers running around your house, Jonas? Because I don't do rubbers, okay?
Oh, man.
I'll give them to you. If I take this hat off, it's going over your mama's face. Anywho, let's get into this Niners v. Dem Girls game.
Okay.
You talk about up and down, don't know who you're going to get, schizophrenic team. That's the Cowboys. You're going to get the Dak Prescott who puts up all these points on the Jags, or you're going to get the Dak Prescott who shit the bed against insert team name here. It doesn't matter. Last week, everybody's on the Cowboys sack because America's team, Jerry Jones, the star. But you got to remember who they played last week. You played a number 22 defense. You played a broken down Tom Brady. I know the Patriots, the Super Bowl he gave him. Don't count him out until it's 0 on the clock. I know, but that wasn't the Tom Brady you faced last week. You guys got 5 days of rest versus our 7. You had to travel twice. And despite all that, they're the Cowboys. They are going to lose. They are going to be a wet stain on the field at Levi Stadium. And you know what the best part is? This is the best part. This is the sweetest part. If you take too many bites of what I'm about to say, you're going to get type 2 diabetes. That's how sweet it is. The sweetest part is the Cowboys fans know this. They can say what they want in these chats. They can put down their $5 and their fake bravado. You know what you say about the loudest guy in the room. So they know it. They know in their heart of hearts, they're going to be scared. They're going to be turning off the TV, walking in the other room, crying in their mom's bosom. They know what's going to happen. That's the best part. Get out here and say what you want, but when you get home at night and close the door with your 15 cats, you know the Cowboys are going to lose. And I can't wait. And it's going to be quick. It's not going to be Brock Purdy's not getting off to a slow start like he did last week. Brock Purdy has a very good habit of, okay, what did I do wrong? I won't do it wrong next week. They're going to get off to a fast start, and the Cowboys are not going to be able to handle it because of that Niner defense. And the Niner offense doesn't get a lot of shine, but I think we're 4 or 5 games in a row, 35 plus. But that defense, Bosa and Nim are going to go nuts on that Cowboys offense. Dak Prescott ain't going to be doing no fake to the right, running to the left, walking into the end zone. That's not happening today. That's not going to happen. The Niners defense and offense is clicking on all 16 cylinders, and it's a wrap for them girls today.
16.
Ooh,
Yeah, no 4, no 8. That's not good enough. We got 16.
You said it's the V16 under the hood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to get into the pre-matchup info, and then we'll let Alec get involved here. And
He's wearing the sleeves up.
You got a lot to say.
You know what happens when a man rolls up the sleeves. When a man rolls up the sleeves of his dress shirt, something's about to happen.
All right. Matchup predictor: 51.2% for the Cowboys, 48.8% for the 49ers. Getting into the spread, 49ers, which is really interesting. I don't know how the matchup predictor has the Cowboys so high when the spread is favoring 49ers by 4. Minus 190 on the money line, 47 is your over and under. What can I say about the kid Brock Purdy? I really feel like because he's new, because he's a rookie, everyone wants to write him off and discredit him, right? I get it. Just because you're new doesn't mean you can't play the game. Just because you're new doesn't mean you can't be a winner. Just because you're new doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to rise to the occasion and take your team to the Super Bowl. This is what dreams are made of. This is how stories are wrote. People love a good story, right? So why wouldn't you like the kid who came out of nowhere, who was Mr. Irrelevant, to show you something different? Or are you that much of a fan to where you're like, no, he shouldn't do it. My team should just win. Believe you me, as much as I want to see the Bills go to the Super Bowl and face off against the 49ers, I realize that it's going to be a hell of a game, and this kid could potentially do it. He could lead his team to the victory. But let's get into it, Alex, see what you got to say next. You got some shoes to fill there.
All right. This is for all the Cowboys fans, the loyal believers, all right? So there was a lot of opinion in his debate. Let's look at the facts. The facts are the 49ers have not gone against a good defense besides the Chiefs, which, well, we know how that happened. 44-23, lost with handedly, right? The Cowboys have 54 sacks, and 49ers have 44 sacks. I believe that the 49ers will not beat the Dallas Cowboys from last week. If they show up with anything less, yes, 49ers will probably beat them. But I looked at their schedule, and man, this whole narrative that the 49ers are so dominant. Yeah, of course, you're bullying the whole league. I mean, your whole schedule is just inferior. I mean, you got the Broncos, Panthers, Rams, Seahawks, the Bears. You beat the Bears by 9 points, and they have the number 1 first-round pick. I mean, I don't know if you're bragging about that, but you had 4 playoff teams. The 49ers played against 4 playoff teams in their whole season, all of which, besides the Chiefs, were first-round exits. Cowboys, 6 playoff teams, and beat the Bengals, beat the Bucks, beat the New York Giants, tied with the Eagles with that series. Eagles are going to the NFC Championship, right? Cowboys have just as much, if not more, weapons than the 49ers. I'll say it. And I think that if all sides are firing on all cylinders, offense, defense, special teams, if everything is firing, they will just It will be a close game, but the Cowboys will win. Because think about it. I mean, if we can stop Christian McCaffrey, if we can lock up anything going deep, and Brock Purdy just has to check down, I mean, our defense is so good, and he hasn't gone against a defense that good. Brock Purdy likes to roll out of the pocket. If he rolls out of the pocket and Micah Parsons is coming at him top speed, he's done. He's losing 10, 15 yards a play. I just don't think that the 49ers haven't gone against an Elite 8 team. I mean, they lost against the Chiefs. So Brock Purdy, yeah, he's doing good for what it's worth. But he's not that guy. He never was that guy. It's a nice Cinderella story, but he's going to make too many mistakes. He's inexperienced, and he's going to find out real quick that the Dallas Cowboys defense, they are those boys. I mean, Dalton Schultz, he's going to have a star game because 98.2% of the time, a tight end completes a pass on the 49er defense. That is their weak spot. They don't defend tight ends, and Dalton Schultz is a star player in the Dallas Cowboys. Last on the wild card, he had 8 targets, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns in which he absolutely dominated. Micah Parsons, he has 13.5 sacks, third most. Obviously, Nick Bosa has more, but it's one of those things where I believe if 49ers can beat the Cowboys B team, the Cowboys C team, but they can't beat the Cowboys A team. And the Cowboys A team was shown last week. And it's one of those things. 1972 NFC Divisional round, 49ers versus Cowboys. 49ers came into that game so much confident. They were talking so much trash on the field. And they led for 3 quarters. And on the 4th quarter, Roger Staubach led the Cowboys on a 4th quarter winning drive, 30-28 Cowboys. I think that's going to be exactly what's going to happen today. 30-28 Cowboys. It's going to be a tight game, but I believe if they give Tony Pollard the ball, I mean, I think Zeke's pretty much done. I can't see a future where he actually provides. I mean, the O-line needs to give him some running holes, but I think Tony Pollard, he's going to be the key to he's going to be the key because the 49ers, they're pretty good with the run. They only they hold the rush to 3.3 yards per carry, which is the first in the NFL. So that's going to be a challenge for us. But Dak Prescott, I mean, he had 305 yards, 4 touchdowns, 143.3 rating. If he has that again, I think it's nonsense to say that he'll lose. And there's an argument that you don't know what you're getting with the Cowboys. You don't know. But I do know that they have something to prove. They're tired of losing, and they have confidence this year. They really believe it's their year and not just a fluke. So I think going in there, the mindset of aggression and dominance, I think that this game, I think 49ers are the underdogs here. I think the Cowboys are going to come in, the 49ers, and upset them.
Well, let me say this. I see y'all both raising your hands. Hold on.
Ain't class.
Get some time. Y'all got it. Trust me.
Jericho first one.
I just want to say Alec came with some strong points. He came with some strong. Listen, Alec came with the fine bullet points.
Very
so
studious.
We're gonna let Franklin go, and then we're gonna bring Jericho back in.
Okay, just my real quick thing. Going to piggyback off of you, Josh. Purdy, he's played how many games now? 6 regular season games. I think 2 playoff games. Am I correct in saying that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The beautiful thing about that, guys, is this: there is no game film on the guy, and that's why he's so successful right now. When you have game film on somebody, it's very easy to stop them. You can go back you can figure out all their idiosyncrasies. You know what they like to do, left, right. There's not enough game film to figure him out yet. So right now, people are struggling. I think he's a great quarterback. Is he dominant? No, he's not. But he knows how to manage the game, and he's in a great system right now. Now, I'm going to say this. Now, everybody's throwing out stats. I'm just going to throw some little quick stats up. Not something from the past, though. The Cowboys in 1993 beat the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl 52-17. In 1994, they beat the Bills in the Super Bowl 30-13. I think San Francisco is a better team. But if I'm right, remember I told you the Bills are going to the Super Bowl this year, ladies and gentlemen. So if I'm writing this storybook out right now, I'm saying the Cowboys are going to go to the Super Bowl just so the Bills could redeem themselves and beat the Cowboys. Jericho, no offense to you, buddy. They're a better team, but I just want I want to whoop the Cowboys' ass in the Super Bowl. That's my opinion. That's it.
Hey, I get it, man. I remember I was a child of the 90s. I remember that 4-year stretch. I remember that game. I understand your wishes and I understand why you have them, and I won't take that personal. But I want to get back to his PowerPoint presentation that he gave. First of all, one of the last things you said was you mentioned the 72 game against the Cowboys and the Niners. The Cowboys were quarterbacked by a war hero. Okay, Roger Starbuck. He was a war hero. He served in the Navy, I believe, world's finest Navy. But anyway, that's not the case today. You got Dakota Prescott. Okay, so that's not going to happen. And you mentioned the Chiefs game. It's all Niner haters do. You can't help it. But the Chiefs game, we were riddled with injuries. Okay, our defense was depleted. So if you're a chef and you only got half your tools, well, the meal's not going to come out that good, is it? And that was months ago. Let's have the Niners and the Chiefs get on the field now with Mahomes' bum ankle and see what happens. And hold on. First, what you need to do, open that window and let some of those ifs out because your room is getting full. That was a lot of ifs. If we can stop McCaffrey, if we can Brock Purdy, and if Micah Parsons, that's a whole lot of ifs, man, and that ain't going to happen. Micah Parsons was on the team last year. Fresh rookie. You know, that he was on fire until it came down to the playoff game, and Prescott didn't know that, I can't place the ball because I'm a player. And he messed it up. Time ran out. Cowboys lost in Jerry's world, by the way. So you guys are going to come out to the Bay this year with the team we have now, and you're going to do something. Okay. And the Niners are not going to pull a Jaguars. We're not going to let their tight end, whatever his name is, we're not going to let him get 14, 15 catches and not do anything about it. That's not going to happen. And the running you were talking about, the Niners allowing these running yards. We allow 77 yards a game. Do you think 77 yards is going to beat the 49ers? No, that's not going to happen. So all of those things you said, I can go ahead and take my red and gold pen out and poke holes in all of it. It's not opinion. It's fact. The Niners defense is the best in the NFL. CFL, any other FLs, I don't know. But the NFL, the Niners have the best defense. The Cowboys have seen nothing like that all year. You can bring all the old games and back in the day when none of us were alive. It does not matter. 2023, Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy. We still haven't seen nothing from him. What else do you need to see? This man is undefeated. He's throwing multiple touchdown passes. He'll rush one for you too. And a wise man once told me he might be better than Jimmy G. When's the last time you saw Jimmy G throw anything over 20 yards or run for anything? Jimmy don't do that. We got this young wild boy out here, and you don't know what you don't know. Brock Purdy is a doe-eyed kid. He doesn't know. He doesn't know the gravity of this moment. He understands as much as he can, but he's chilling. There's no pressure. And if there's no pressure, you play better. We were talking earlier before we started recording. When you're off the air, that's where you get some of the best content. Why? Because there's no pressure. It's not like, oh man, we gotta do a live stream. It's not like that, but there is a pressure to perform. It's different when you're in front of an audience. When I worked at a radio station, one day I walked in and it was Gabriel Iglesias, Ari Spears, and John Witherspoon, RIP, the dad from Friday, in the studio at the same time. Do you know how hilarious it was in between commercial breaks when we were off the air? Hilarious. I wish they could have said that stuff on there. I'm crying. I had to leave. I had to leave the studio because my stomach was hurting. I couldn't take any more. Okay. So Brock Purdy has no pressure. They're like, man, you're the first quarterback to. He's just like, oh, okay. I don't know. What do you want me to do, coach? That's what he's all about. He's all about what the coach tells me to do. That's what I'm going to do. And if you do what Shanahan tells you, you're going to end up in the divisional round your first year off the bench. Cowboys, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I can't stand you. You guys are going back home. You guys can look at Jerry's weird colored, liver spotted eyes well up with tears on your private jet on the way back home.
So you had some very, very, very good points there. But
I
let me
know.
just say, 49ers aren't a bad team. They're a great team, debatably a complete team. But Brock Purdy has faced inferior opponents in his career in the NFL. Of course they're going to win, right? They haven't faced the Cowboys, a defense like the Cowboys. They're going to stop. Charvarius Ward, 7 receptions allowed, a touchdown, and 105 yards. DK Metcalf smoked him. Do you think CeeDee Lamb? I think CeeDee Lamb's going to smoke him again. Blown coverage. It's going to be, Debo versus Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
I think Diggs locks. I think Diggs locks him. And going back to the 72 thing, it wasn't because Cowboys did it back then, they can do it today. No, it's just a mindset thing, Going in as an underdog, it makes you want to just win it more, especially when everyone is counting you out. Everyone thinks that the 49ers are just going to roll today, which, I think with their stats, they haven't gone against like a team to write home about. I would say that. And I think the Cowboys are really going to shock some people today because, I think they're going to sack Purdy. I think they're going to sack Purdy probably, I'm going to say 4 sacks on Purdy today. I'm going to say 4 sacks for Purdy. All right. I'm going to say forced fumble. All right. And I think that the Cowboys are going to start off hot. I'm going to say Cowboys are going to start off just a throw to Gallup, and we're gonna get something because I think that the team we saw last week, I think that's staying, and if that team's staying, then 49ers, they're in trouble.
That's big.
So let me just address some of these comments. Sam, we actually talked about the Bills and Bengals about 15 minutes ago. But we're going to recap in a moment here. We're just getting through the Cowboys and the 49ers now. I want to say a couple of things. So Purdy's current stats, 67.1 QBR, 1,374 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 11 sacks. Dak Prescott, 57.9 QBR, 66.2% completion, 2,860 yards, 23 touchdowns, sacked 20 times. I look at
how many picks?
He's got 20. No, my bad. I bring up the picks. Let me.
I think he has 4, right? 4 interceptions. I don't know.
Hold on. Dak Prescott interceptions.
Oh, Dak has like. Really?
15 interceptions.
Damn.
So 23 touchdowns. Interceptions.
Damn. You guys ever see that clip with Kevin Hart and Don Cheadle, where Don Cheadle says, "I'm 56," and Kevin Hart goes, "Damn."
Hey,
but Alec, for your scenario to happen, the Niners have to fall apart. For my scenario to happen, them girls just need to be them girls. They just do what they do. But you got a doomsday scenario that's not going to happen. Niners aren't going to all get brain damage before they go out on the field. It's over.
So I have a question for you, Jericho. Do you think if the Cowboys team last week, if that Cowboys team showed up with, the exception of Maher actually making the field goals, you still think the 49ers will win hands down?
Honestly, I think the only reason we saw those Cowboys is because of who they were playing. If the Bucs were better, you wouldn't have seen the Cowboys perform like that. They were only that way because of their competition. No, I honestly, against the 49ers, you will not see that performance.
So going by that logic, the last 8 games that the 49ers have played, Cardinals, Saints, Dolphins, injured Dolphins, Bucs, Seahawks, Commanders, Raiders went to overtime, and Cardinals. You think that really shows Brock Purdy's ability because those teams were so much competitive, right?
Well, when you're the executioner, you can't complain about whose head's in the guillotine. You just cut it off. That's who they put in front of them. And it wasn't close. The Raiders game that went into overtime. but it wasn't. The rest of them weren't close. It's not like, oh, Niners, we were puckered until the last 2 minutes. It was a beatdown. When the Bucks came to town, 35-7. These are beatdowns we're handing out. This is what happens. It's like if you're a grown man and some kid comes up to you, hey, mister, yeah, you're going to destroy that little kid because it's a child. That's what they're supposed to do. You put these weak opponents in front of us, they get dismantled. That's what good teams do.
Yeah. And I will say this, right? Because at the end of the day, when you look, this is the biggest gripe that I always have when people bring this up. Well, look who they play. This is the NFL. All these teams are getting paid millions of dollars. All these players are getting paid millions of dollars to go out there and perform. Some people are excelling more than others, but that's because they put the work in to be great. But that doesn't mean that you can discredit any NFL team because they lost. I mean, look at what the Lions did this year. Nobody expected that.
Nope.
Right? The Lions have been garbage every year, but now the Lions could have been in the playoffs.
True. And to your point, too, Josh, is you got to realize I think the salary cap started in 1994, I believe. Since 1994, teams are really even. Remember, everybody has the same salary cap. Now, the way you spend your money, the way you coach, that's different. But teams are equal. I mean, no matter what, it could be the Jaguars, the Commanders. If you're in the NFL, you're a professional any given Sunday. And also, too, to run back, and I know I don't want to really recap something else we already talked about. Trevor, he lost. He lost on a Saturday. He lost on a Saturday. His first loss on a Saturday.
He broke the tradition. He broke his undefeated record. It's sad. It's so
any given Sunday, man. And these teams are really great. You both guys, you make a great, great stats about both your teams. But again, going back to my whole original thing too, Bills, Cowboys. You said something earlier. I forgot about it. The two Diggs boys the brothers going against each other in the Super Bowl. That's gonna be fire. The Bills Diggs is gonna win that one. He gonna kill what's called. But again, that's just my opinion. I'm Bills. I'm just biased Bills, yo. Biased Bills.
Hey, it's one in the trenches, man, and that Niners defensive line is legendary.
True.
Yeah,
it's good. I think just not to, write off the Cowboys, not write off the 49ers, but I do think that Cowboys show up, they will beat 49ers handedly because you never know.
Handedly.
I have faith. They have a false sense of security, the 49ers.
How? That running game is the truth.
Running game is all right. It's all right. It's CMC. You think that they're going to run all over the Cowboys? Do you honestly think that they're going to run all over the Cowboys?
Yes. Micah Parsons is not the beginning. He's not the alpha and omega of defenses. Micah Parsons is one dude who was on the team last year when they got bounced in the first round. Okay? Yes, the Niners are going to run all over the Cowboys. And I know CMC, Christian McCaffrey, he gets all the praise. But there's this guy, I don't know if you heard of him, Elijah Mitchell. He had a touchdown last week too. And he's back on fresh legs. I think this is his third game back off of injury. So, yeah, CMC, for sure, we'll ride him all day. But once we get that lead, we'll give it to Mitchell. Let him get a couple TDs too. But to ask if the Niners are going to run on the Cowboys, they run on everybody.
So here's the thing too, right? For as many weapons, we can bring up Zeke, Pollard, Gallup, Fant, Schultz. Who else is over there? Lamb, right? And then on the flip side, you can bring up CMC, Debo, Brandon Ayuk, Kittle. Like there's so many weapons on both sides. So I think the real key to this is who uses the tools in the shed the best?
Who has the most tools?
Well, I wouldn't say who has the most tools, but who uses the tools in the shed the best?
I think it's the Niners have more tools and they use them the best. And somebody in there said CMC doesn't have a good history against the Cowboys, but that's when he was playing with the garbage Carolina Panthers. He's with the 49ers now. He's moved on up. He's with the Jeffersons. He's moved on up in the east side to a deluxe apartment in the sky. He's no longer in the slums. He's no longer in Section 8, North Carolina. So he's moved up on the hill with the Niners. He's going to have a great game against the Cowboys. Man, you guys better quit sniffing that Cowboy crack. That's years ago. The Cowboys ain't nothing. Dak Prescott, he gets you there. He almost no, not quite. The divisional round. Ugh, damn it. That's Dak Prescott, man. Please. His name's Dakota. Case closed.
Lord King 83 says, "Dude, CMC hasn't had the best stats against Dallas. Y'all just won't speak about it." So
he wasn't on the Niners.
True.
I don't care what he did before he got here. I just do when you're with a woman. Do you care? Do you want to hear about what she was doing before she got to you? Nope. Just enjoy her while you have her. And we got TMC, and we are going to enjoy him. We're going to ride him to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, because you got different schemes, different offense. Like it's a completely different. It's a completely different situation, and the 49ers versus the Panthers.
Bruh,
So,
I a couple weeks ago I forgot about George Kittle. That's how many weapons we got. I was like, oh, Kittle, one of the best tight ends in the game. I forgot him. Yeah. So come on, man. It's a wrap. Yeah, the Cowboys, they look good getting off the bus, as they say. But bruh, they're gonna get worked. Worked.
Oh man. All right. So just to recap, obviously it's gonna be a crazy day. It's gonna be a fun day. I wanted to keep the show to about an hour. It's up to you guys. If you got something else to do, we can cap it off, or we can keep it going.
Jay, I don't got nothing to do. Till 3 o'clock.
So 3 o'clock. All right, so yeah, we'll keep it going. As far as let's see here, we got. Just trying to go back to the comments here. Jonas says 49ers looking up Purdy some coaches. This man, a 49ers fan, and didn't know Kittle. I think what he meant, Jonas.
Yeah, please, Jay, go ahead.
I think what he meant, Jonas, is that there's so much talent over there that he kind of forgot that Kittle was on the team. Right?
Yeah,
I'm sure he knew that he was there. He just forgot he was on the team. Kind of like how I forgot that, Knox sometimes is on the team and he comes out of nowhere. He gets these big plays, because I'm so used to Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it happens from time to time. Yeah. Score predictions. We can do score predictions.
Before we get into that, I just have something that I want to talk to you guys about. So I saw a report that Jimmy G could possibly return for the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl. Most likely the Super Bowl if they got that far. Do you think they would replace Purdy with an experienced Jimmy G?
No, I don't think so. No.
You're right out with Purdy right now. Purdy's right.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. I feel like Jimmy G did what was needed up until the point where Brock came in, and so now you don't. It goes like they're saying, you don't fix what doesn't need to be fixed, because at this point you're going to take away the momentum that Brock and the 49ers have, and I feel like Brock has created a chemistry with the current team. You can't put Jimmy into that equation now because he's so far removed from it. This kind of chemistry that the 49ers have, or that any team has at this point, you don't want to change that because it changes the whole narrative as far as the direction that the team's going in.
And in my opinion, you don't put him back in based off of what I said earlier. You have a lot of game film on Jimmy G. You know what he can do. You know what he's capable of doing and not doing. Purdy, you don't have that. So why would you put somebody that they still can't pinpoint Purdy yet? And, he's not enough. Next year they'll figure him out next year, but this year they're not gonna figure out. So therefore, like in Jericho, you made a good example. Is nobody knows him. Like he's just out there doing what my coach is telling me to do. He's not overthinking the plays. He's not underthinking the plays. I'm doing what I'm asked to do. It's like that you brought up earlier about Starbuck. A veteran. It's just like being in the military. What your general or your commander asks you to do, you do it. There's no thinking behind it. All right, you want me to run? You want me to throw this? I'm just gonna throw it. I'm not gonna overthink, overthrow it, not use my legs. I'm just do what's asked of me. At the end of the day, because I'm making my coach look better. And my opinion is this: next year, what is San Fran gonna do? You got 3 quarterbacks. You gotta make a decision at that point. Is Jimmy G gonna be? Is Purdy gonna be the starter next year? That could be the case. He was a bowl.
He gets us a ring. He better be. And if they want their stadium burned down, go ahead and put Jimmy G in there for the Super Bowl game or in it, whatever. Go ahead and bring Jimmy G back this year, and you're gonna need a new stadium. No way. They wouldn't do that because Brock, if Brock was stumbling, if he had some points you could point out like, oh man, that's really bad, then of course every fan wants their team to win. I don't care who's out there. Give me a dub. But right now, Brock Purdy's giving us those dubs, and he's giving us those dubs in a very good fashion. Multiple touchdowns. The yards aren't crazy, but the picks, you keep getting zeros in that column, and the multiple touchdowns. He's scrambling for first downs. Hey, don't mess with it. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Great.
Yeah, leave it alone. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Another big thing too is when you look at, I mean, you could even go in reverse, right? You could look at the Cowboys. When Cooper Rush came in for Dak Prescott, he was a new hype, right? He was a new hype. He was winning some games. And then what happened? He had that bad game. And they're like, all right, we need Dak back. That's how it goes, right? You ride the hot hand. And then obviously if things go south, then you have to make the adjustments needed. But right now, I don't see Brock going anywhere. And to be honest, if Brock is able to lead the 49ers to the Super Bowl, even if they win or lose, I think he becomes the face of the franchise moving forward.
Ooh, what about the rookie? They just drafted first round.
Oh man. What a disappointment. What a disappointment Trey Lance is. I'm ready to get rid of him right now.
I respect that from a San Francisco fan. Talk that talk, Jericho.
Yeah. Let's talk about Lance. Let's get into that.
How many chances? How many times are you going to go to a restaurant and you keep getting diarrhea? Pretty soon, we can't go there no more because we keep getting sick. How many times are you going to trot this fool out there and he gets hurt week 1, week 2, and he has that Kaepernick syndrome. He has a rifle for an arm, like we were talking about earlier. No touch. Everything's just it's a rocket. If you're not 60 yards down the field, you ain't going to catch it. And for what we gave up for him, that's too much. Plus, Brock Purdy has way more college experience. I think Trey Lance only played like a handful of games, maybe around 10 games. Yeah. Actually, I want to say it's more like around 3 or 5 or something like that. He had a really small college career. Brock Purdy had 4 years starting. Yeah. So we're looking at results here, man. I know Trey Lance, we gave up a lot for you. And you look great. You're fast, big arm, wonderful. But you're not on the field. What do they say? Your best ability is your availability. So you're great and you're wonderful and you look good, but you're never out on the field. Here's another year gone. We've had him for multiple years and he's been out. So I'm done with Trey Lance. Brock Purdy, you take us to the promised land, we'll keep him.
Do you think Jimmy G going back to the 49ers was like a business move, or do you think like he came back because he wanted to prove something?
I think it's the former. I think it's mostly a business decision. Of course, man, he has something to prove. All those athletes got something to prove, and they want to prove it. But I think it was a business decision, and I'm glad it happened. Could you imagine if Jimmy G was gone, who we would have had step in there? Yeah. I mean, I'm glad Jimmy G was there as long as he was before he got hurt. I think Brock Purdy was getting as much information and as much knowledge from him as he possibly could up until the moment he went out. And you can, I think CMC was talking about how Jimmy G is still mentoring and helping Brock Purdy. Mm-hmm. But if next year comes and it's Brock Purdy, Jimmy G, and then Trey Lance or no Trey Lance, I'm happy with that.
So Football Edit says Jimmy G was horrible. I think Football Edit, you're forgetting what Jimmy G did and where he led the 49ers to. Like,
he had horrible moments. For sure.
He had horrible moments, but he definitely led the 49ers to as close to a Super Bowl as he could.
Yeah, and to a Super Bowl. He got us to one against some damn Chiefs. But, yeah, Jimmy G had horrible moments. There's no one more mad than me last year in the NFC Championship game. But, hey, Jimmy, he's still pretty good, and I'll take Jimmy G over Trey Lance. How about that?
So,
because they both got the injury bug, so why not?
Shout out to Jonas for the $5 super chat. Says Kyle Shanahan won 2 Super Bowls and didn't win. Falcons and 49ers. That last 2 Super Bowls the 49ers was in, they lost.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of heat for the Niners, Jonas. Who's your team? And don't say somebody stupid. Who's your team? Your team better be the Chiefs. It better be somebody still in the playoffs for you to be talking all this nonsense.
He's a Cowboys fan. He's diehard Cowboys.
There we go. There. Thank you. We have a diagnosis. That's the problem. You're a fan of dim girls. So this is pain. This is what this is. This is pain. This is jealousy. This is hurt. That's all this is. Jonas, I wish you were here so I can give you a hug. We can go on a road trip and talk it out. Because this is pain. We all have pain from our past. We all have trauma, and that's what that is. Jonas, we love you.
Key points: the Cowboys have not been to the Super Bowl since '96.
And where were you guys in '96? No BS. What were you guys doing in 1996? I was a sophomore in high school.
96. I was I just graduated high school.
I was still in my dad's scrotum. So, so
he had a tail. That's in '96. He had a tail. You, great reason. Where were you in '96?
I was in grammar school.
Oh man. Okay. So yeah, them girls. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Serious question. If I'm the 49ers, do I trade Lance next season for an extra weapon?
Yes. We've had enough of these. We've had enough of the Jerick McKinnons, the guys who are hurt the whole time they're on our roster and don't do nothing. Trey Lance, it's been great. We gave up a lot. We'll go ahead and eat that. But hell yeah, get some more weapons. And I know we gotta. You guys, when you come back from a vacation, you got to sit on your suitcase and stuff all the stuff in there. I know we're overloaded with weapons, but we'll take some more. Nothing wrong with some more depth.
I got a question for you, Alec, with the Cowboys. What do you guys do about Zeke next year, man? What do you do? Like, is Zeke is Zeke is not the same Zeke when I didn't play fantasy football for the last 2 years, but prior to that, Zeke was always going to be my first round draft pick in fantasy. I wouldn't touch Zeke with a 10-foot pole right now. What do you do with Zeke at this point?
Zeke had more touches than he needed last week. I think he had 2 yards per carry or something like that. It was not great last year.
It was bad. What it is, it was bad.
It was very bad, and I think he is the weakest link right now. He used to be the really good, but I think it's just one of those things. Dak has proven he could still play at a high level, and I had a hot take at the beginning of the season. I was like, if this season's a flop, I think they should move on from Dak and Zeke. I think it's just that time. But I think Dak is proven that he can play at a high level. Zeke, not so much. I don't even know if any team would take Zeke. Maybe they would. But I think that Zeke's time is done. Tony Pollard, his time is now. And if they want to win games, they need to make Tony Pollard, running back one. Yeah, because Zeke, he's proven to us this whole season that his new shtick is being explosive. Most of the time he's if it's 3rd and goal, 4th and goal, and they need that push, sometimes he gets in, but sometimes he doesn't. It's unreliable. So I would rather.
I'm gonna cut you off, but I want to hop in real quick. Shout out to Jeff King bringing up a valid point. Zeke ain't been Zeke since he got his bag, and I wanted to say that.
I want to say it too. I'm actually looking up right now.
Yeah, I wanted to say that because if you look at from the time that he played up to getting the contract to, I would say, the next season after, it was a completely different player. The hunger was gone.
Mm-hmm.
That those big explosive plays that he was doing, it just wasn't there. And now we're seeing the remnants of you getting the bag, and it doesn't matter anymore, right? You don't have the drive and the hunger. So that's why Tony Pollard's stepping up. And to be honest, right, get your money, get what you're paid. But at the same time, it's do you want a ring or did you just want the money? Where's the love for the game? And that plays into a lot getting into these stretches, right? How much heart do you have to go out there and win? Because if Zeke doesn't show up and Pollard doesn't have a good game, it's going to be a long day.
Well, let me ask you this, Alec. If Tony Pollard twists his ankle getting off the bus and all you got is Zeke, does your opinion of the outcome change?
I think I wouldn't rely on the run as much. I think I would make Zeke a blocker for anything but I wouldn't rely on the run for Zeke because I can't rely on him right now. And unless we put him in the slot and he gets a few yards for a first down, I don't think that's something. But yeah, I mean, if Tony Pollard gets injured, we can be a little bit productive with Zeke. I mean, he's not the worst. I mean, he gets touchdowns.
They're going to win. You still
when
think
you look at this, that he is the worst.
I mean, if Tony Pollard gets injured and he can't be Tony Pollard, then I think that it takes a big hit on us. I mean, but like if CMC or Debo Samuel gets injured, I mean, it'll be a big hit on the 49ers. So I
But we did
think,
pretty good without Debo for a few games.
yeah, you did. But like I think each weapon has something to offer to the table, and if you're missing the weapon, it really affects the whole team. But these teams, they have so many weapons that I think they can make some adjustments to compensate for that.
I think there's a difference in the quality of weapons because you can name the CeeDee Lamb, who was it? The guy that got from the Colts, T.Y. Hilton, T.Y. Hilton, CeeDee Lamb, Pollard, Zeke,
Schultz.
whatever the tight end's name is. I'm sure it's some Polish name or something or Irish name. Why all the tight ends either got mixed something or a ski. But you can name all their players, but if you're going tit for tat, if you're lining them up across from themselves by position, the 49ers have better weapons. Period. By a lot. You mean it to okay? Yeah, CeeDee Lamb. Okay, but I think that's doused in a little bit of Oklahoma. Has he really been that CeeDee Lamb since he got to Dallas, and will he be that CeeDee Lamb today? I don't think so. Weapon to weapon, pound for pound, the Cowboys just don't stack up, man. And I think they blew their load, so to speak, last week. They went in their punt. We're against Brady. We gotta beat him. And I think that's what happens when they have lesser competition. Plus, they play well. But I don't know if they got it in the tank to come out here and face Debo. And I don't mean Debo Samuel. I mean the 49ers is Debo from Friday.
And real quick, Jay, you brought up something earlier about is not every player is there for the Super Bowl, even though I know they're in the NFL. Some players are in the league just to make the big bucks. That's it. And going back to what we talked about Zeke is when you talk about his numbers versus what he's getting paid, he shouldn't be in the league right now. He got a 6-year, $90 million contract.
Dang.
$50 million up front.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Yeah. It's a lot of
With
money.
that kind of production, you're not in the league to try to win a Super Bowl. You're in it, I'm here, like you said earlier, I'm here for the bag. Like, I know this, I'm having a short career. I'm a starting running back. I made 6 years, 7 years tops. I'm getting the money and I'm good. Zeke is not, because somebody with a championship heart is arguing with their coach on the sideline. Get me in the game, coach. I want to play right now. You give me all this money. I'm trying to play. I'm trying to get the ball. He's not doing that. He's like, all right, cool. I'm chilling on the side. Y'all do y'all do your thing. Y'all call me when y'all get ready. I'll be watching TV.
Another big thing too is this. Me and Franklin, we always have these conversations about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens and his contract. It's basically the same thing, right? I feel like the issue with Lamar though is he didn't have the agent that was going to get him the money. So now he's seeing the ramifications and the issues with that. And unfortunately, it's going to come back to bite him in the butt because he's going to feel like he's got to go somewhere else to get it. And he may get it somewhere else. But once again, where's your loyalty lay? Is it with the Ravens? Is it with taking them to win a Super Bowl? Or are you chasing the bag? That's what it always boils down to.
It's bag, man. Some of these guys are bag chasers. And I respect it. It's a business. At the end of the day, you got to go in there. You got to get as much as you can, as fast as you can get it, because you just never know. You get hurt, you out. Somebody else coming better than you, play better than you, you're out. So it's get the back while you can. But again, I don't think the Cowboys are a Super Bowl championship team with this team they have now with the mentality, not the physicalness. I mean, again, they have some names, but I don't really think they're out there trying to really chase the Super Bowl. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think today will be the ultimate test. If the Cowboys can pull out a win right here, I think the hard part is done. I mean, not to, undermine the Eagles. The Eagles are a very solid team, but I mean, we've been there. We haven't gone against Hurts yet, but I think the Super Bowl goes through the 49ers. If you can take out the 49ers, then
If
Listen.
We don't know yet. It's all hypotheticals. We don't know what's going to happen today.
That's true, man.
But
If
we
my mother
can
had
go-
balls, she'd be my father. That's true. A lot of ifs there, man.
A lot of ifs, man. I'm sure a lot of people in the 80s said when they were fighting Mike Tyson, man, if I can just hit Tyson, but it never happened. And yeah, we don't know what's going to happen today. The Niners every year we see teams, and probably our teams, just play like, man, what the hell are you guys doing? We've seen that. And that could happen today, but the numbers and the statistics say that's not going to happen today.
And I'll tell you this too. I always tell people this in the streams, right? You see a lot of speculation and people just going back and forth about different things. And I always say, like, believe in your team, right? Stand on your bet, stand on your theory, stand on your speculation, because that's what makes you who you are. Like, people always like use certain things and kind of like, I'm not too sure. And it's like, no, like, I know they're gonna win. I believe in it. You know? And when you get into these kind of conversations and debates, you want to make sure that you stand on that. And no matter what, people are like, oh, they're spewing nonsense, and they're just talking out of their heads. Well, go watch ESPN. They're doing the same thing and just getting paid millions to do it. Like, it's the same thing. They don't know what's going to happen. They don't really know. They're speculating too. But that's the beauty of the game. It brings everybody together and all the rivalries and all that good stuff. And I love it. So, with that said,
Score prediction.
Bengals and Bills, 3 p.m. Bills are favored by 6 points. Bills are putting up at least 30. At least 30 at home.
What's the over-under?
Over-under is going to be 49.
I think over. Yeah.
Yeah, I think over.
Yeah, over for that.
Yeah,
I'm going with the Bills by 10.
I'm going to say 42-38 Bills.
Damn, that's nobody's defense is going to show up today.
Right, it's 42-38.
Damn. I'm going to say 30-14 Bills.
30-14, okay.
I think it'll be a comfortable win. It's going to be a battle, but I think the Bills are going to pull it out in the end. And I just the Bengals offensive line that's giving me worries, man. It really is, because you got to protect that dude.
Two starters were out, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, 30-14. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, my man Ryan has some faith in those Bills. Holy, I don't.
30-14. Okay, yeah.
51-49.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see a game like that, though. I would love to see a
Holy moly!
Is the defense going to be on the field at all?
All offense. No one's. That's a college game.
That's a track meet, man. Yeah.
I love it.
It's Georgia Bulldogs.
Hey, that'd be something.
I'm gonna go 30. I'm gonna go 35-14. Yeah, I'll go 35.
That's a real whooping on.
Dang.
I think Bills are going to show out at home. I think all these people that have been talking about these Bengals and what they're going to do, they're going to cry tonight. They're going to go to sleep with tears rolling down their face. And Jay so hard for the last 2 weeks about these Bengals. And Wildstar, if you're listening, I want my $50.
Damn.
Make sure you get that money, right? The last game got canceled. We moved the bet over to this game. Don't act like you forgot. I want my $50. Bills taking this victory.
And before we move on to this real fast, I'm going to say this. I'm going to just go back to the whole neutral site. I don't like this neutral site in Atlanta, to be honest with you. I don't want Jair in Black City at Magic City. He goes up those dollars, man. That's a lot to be in Atlanta when you're from Buffalo.
Man.
Josh Allen gonna be in Magic City, man, throwing hundreds, thousands of dollars.
He's gonna be paying tuition down there. That's what he's gonna be doing.
Man, I don't want to see Josh Allen in Atlanta, man. He's
paying them girls tuition.
Josh Allen, he's a farm boy. He's gonna be in his hotel reading the Bible.
Yeah, until he gets a text from Diggs. Hey man, let's come down here and get that stuff shaking in his face. Yeah, that could be an issue, man. That could be an issue. I wouldn't be surprised if teams do stuff like that. Like if they'll send certain things another team's way, to distract them.
Right.
And that's a real thing, man. What was that Raider player that got all crazy in Mexico and missed the Super Bowl or something, or he was playing like trash in the Super Bowl? So it could happen, and that city is magic. So,
oh man, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Josh out in Atlanta, man. I really don't. But it is what it is.
Keep that man indoors, man. Maybe the coaches will lock him down. 10
I
o'clock.
feel like McDermott's a coach to where they'll make sure they have parameters in place to like keep these guys in line, and I think they respect McDermott enough. And I would hope that they understand that the severity of that game if it were to happen, and what they need to do to prepare, because getting caught up in Atlanta is not something that you want to do. Mm-hmm. Looking at you, Stephon Diggs, I know how you get down.
Oh yeah,
Stephon, one of the Diggs.
Yeah, he gonna be in the streets. Yeah, he definitely gonna be in the streets in Atlanta.
Yeah, he definitely gonna
be. I hope not, man. I hope they got their head on straight.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Cowboys, 49ers predictions. Obviously, 49ers are favored by 4. This is tough. It's tough. I want to say I'm going to go Niners for the win. My score prediction is going to be 28-21.
Oh. What's the over and under in this one? It's got to be low.
47.
Oh, just as high as the Bills game, huh?
47.
That's it? Just a 7-point margin? Oh, okay. You guys go ahead. I'll wait till the end. I already got my number.
I'm going to go San Fran. I'm going to go San Fran, and I'm going to go San Fran 24-21. I think it's going to be a close one. Even though, again, just for historical reasons, I would like to play the Cowboys in the Super Bowl so we can get that redemption, but I think San Fran definitely is going to win this one.
I think it'll be 30-21 Cowboys.
Oof.
I say 38-17 Niners.
Okay.
It's going to be they're going to get tuned up. What, they're going to take behind the woodshed? Is that what they say? They're going to get tuned up. I don't know about you guys, but I got an ass whooping or two in my day. And that's what's going to happen to the Cowboys. Go ahead and tug your nice little light blue pants down and get over the lap. Because don't you come out here. Move your hand. Move your hand, Dak. Move your hand.
Shout out to the old school. They'll know about that. They'll know about them. Go get the switch. They'll know about, go get the switch. And if you try to get that big one, remember you try to get the big one. you try to get the big switch so it didn't hurt. Because that small one, when you got hit by with that small switch,
it's over. It's over.
Hey, and you know what?
Listen, you know when you after you get that switch whooping, it was different from the belt. Because after you got that switch whooping, the spaghetti was on the stove, right? So you tell you go eat, get your spaghetti, and then you sit there crying as you.
Yep, been there, and it's not even move your hand; it's move your hand.
Move
your hand in there, and that's what's going to happen to Dallas today. And I love it, and I have no sympathy for the fan. I can't wait till they pan the crowd and you just see the Dallas fan with their arms crossed, all mad, knowing they got the longest ride home of their life after that game. I love it, man. I hate the Cowboys. They're going to get destroyed, and I wish nothing but death upon their season.
So, what are you going to do whenever the Cowboys win, though?
I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned with things that don't happen. I'm not concerned with fantasies.
Really?
Okay. Unicorns aren't real, and the Cowboys ain't winning.
Interesting. Interesting. We'll see about that.
Oh yeah, it's over. I wish I had your number so I could text you.
It's not fact.
In the middle of it.
Yeah. 30-17.
It's over, man. 38-17 Niners, and we're talking like most of those points scored in the first half. We'll get the second string in there and stuff. Let them get some playing time. Rest those starters.
The second string in the divisionals.
Yeah, why not? These Cowboys aren't going to transform into something new today. They're going to be the same old Cowboys they were last week. They just look good because they were playing the 22nd ranked defense. If you got a team who's good and they play, Scrub State University, and smash them. But then they go against a team that's as good or better than them. That's not going to happen because of the competition. The Niners are too much. You guys ever seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas with Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro?
Yeah.
What do you tell him? You took too much, man. You took too much. The Niners are too much.
Classic movie. It's a classic.
Just forfeit, Dallas. Forfeit.
We'll definitely see. We'll definitely see. I think these two teams are evenly matched, so it'll be a shootout.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, USA.
All right. I want to thank everybody for coming through today. Most love to Alec Finch. This is his debut. I think he did a great job.
Sports analyst, yeah.
Holding up against the Sharks. He did a great job today. Round of applause for Alec.
Yes.
Round of applause for Alec. Shout out to Franklin from the Franklin Crocker Show, and also shout out to Mr. American himself, Jericho Green. I want to address some of these super chats before we head out. So we got Cowboys Mafia. It says 30. Come on, Jonas. What is that? Cowboys Mafia. 34.
And there's a Cowboys fan for you.
24-10. I was 14 when the Cowboy. Come on. All right.
No, he can't type it right because his mom keeps playing with his hair. Mom, stop. I'm trying to type. Good reason. Stop.
Shout out to Matty T for the $10 super chat. Says stop the Zeke slander. He takes his share of the workload, the tough carries inside the tackles. Holler would not post the same numbers without him. They're the best 1-2 punch backfield in the NFL. Wow.
Yeah, he's gonna get that workload. All right, he's gonna get that workload today. He'll get the load.
We'll see.
Oh man! All right. Shout out to you guys. Much love to all the watchers, all the subscribers. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the Wrench Gang. I want to give a big thank you to everyone coming through. Shout out to you guys for the super chats. Also, I will be streaming at 3:00, Bills and Bengals. It's going to be crazy, so make sure you be around for that. And obviously the late night game, which is going to be absolutely ridiculous. There's going to be so much hype, so much emotion. We got Cowboys and 49ers. And, we'll see you guys later for that one. It's going to be a great day. You guys be safe out there. Don't do anything crazy. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drive. Have fun. And enjoy your Sunday.
I got one too. Before we go, so he's gonna say all that. If you can't pawn it, don't steal it. That's it.
Oh, wait! I got one more thing. I got one more thing. I'm gonna be honest with you, Cowboys fans.
Damn.
Mattress Mac may have jinxed you. This man went to Caesars last night and he dropped $2 million on the Cowboys.
Oh, yes, I seen that.
Yeah, is that old man in?
Yeah.
Is that who that old
$2
man was?
million.
Mattress Mac dropped $2 million on the Cowboys last night.
Seen that?
Well,
That's
that's
crazy.
it.
I'm just telling you what happened. I'm just a messenger.
He knows what he's talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah, sure does.
Easy 2 mil. Easy 2 mil.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jay. I appreciate the invite. Thanks, Alec, Franklin. Appreciate you guys. I hope I didn't ruin my chances of being invited back, but
No,
I
you
sure do appreciate it, man.
It's all love. We're
Thank
definitely
you.
invite you back, man. It was good to have you. We had a great time. I'm sure everyone else did. I seen a lot of laughter in the chat. Seen a lot. They hate the hat. They didn't like the hat. That's all it was. They didn't like the hat.
Hey, man, that's BB's off a battleship. Pew, pew.
Jonas with another $2 says Jay raising that $100 going to look nice. Jonas, I would like my $100 after the Cowboys 49ers game. Send that to me via Cash App or Venmo. I don't need YouTube taking 30% of my money, sir.
No.
Thank you.
And don't take it out of your mom's purse. Make sure it's your own money.
Oh man.
All right. Shout out to you guys. I will see you all later. Much love and peace.
Peace.
Peace.